Your best revenge is living a life that is authentic to you. And that's usually the life they didn't want you to live, and that's why they hurt you in that way. That's usually the life that they envied you for. That's usually the life that attracted them to you so much because they wanted to break you. They wanted to break your reality. Don't let them break it even further. And don't let them pull you away from the life you want to live. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Beyond Words with me, Nejwa Zabian. I've always been a firm believer in the power of words to heal what they didn't break and to break what they had no right to break. As you can see, if you're watching me on YouTube, we have a new set. So let me know what you think of it. Let me know what you think I should add or take out. Let me know what you already love and what I should continue doing. Today's episode is going to be on a topic that is a little bit controversial, but we have to talk about it. And it is, how do you get revenge on the people who hurt you? How do you make them suffer? How do you make them see that what they did to you was that bad? How do you make them feel how bad they made you feel when they did the thing that broke you? There's a sweetness that comes with the idea of seeing them suffer exactly the way they made you suffer. I understand that. There's this thirst within you to see that person break exactly the way they broke you. There's a hunger to see someone else that they love so much or that they trust so much turn their back on them the way they turned their back on you. I understand that. And I felt that way before. And I want to share a story with you. There was a time in my life that was truly rough. And I remember sitting with my mom and just being so emotional. I was crying. And at that time, a really close relative had gotten very sick. And I just looked at my mom and I said, why is it always the best people who don't deserve to get sick that just get the worst of life? Why can't someone like that person who hurt me so much get sick like that? And my mom looked at me and she said, stop. She said, don't go there. Don't let what they did to you make you someone you're not, because you're not like that. You don't wish pain and suffering on people. You don't wish that they get sick. You don't wish that they get a taste of their own medicine. You're not like that. Don't let them turn you into someone you're not. And that was such an eye-opening moment for me because it's true. I'm not somebody who wishes pain on anyone. I'm not somebody who wants to see people suffer. Even if they made me suffer, I'm not like that. I'm the type of person who, if I see somebody fall after they broke my back from stomping all over it, before I can even think, oh, they made me suffer so much, they don't deserve that I help them up. Before I can even make that logic in my brain, I'm already helping them up because that's my nature. You're the same. You're an empath. You're kind. You help people. You rescue people when you see them in trouble. You can't comprehend how you can see a need in someone that you can fulfill and that you just choose not to fulfill it. It's really hard for you to comprehend that. But somewhere along the way, someone walked into your life and they convinced you that they were the best person you've ever met, that they loved you so well and so properly, that they saw you for who you are, that they loved you for who you are, They convinced you that all the years you spent in the shadows of your own life and in the lives of those around you who say they love you were now all of a sudden worth it because they walked into your life and they're willing to make up for all of that. And every time you told yourself, this can't be true, it's too good to be true, they proved you wrong. They showed up, they were present, they listened to you. They brought up one really seemingly tiny thing that you brought up when you first got to know them and convinced you that, hey, I pay attention. The little things about you mean something to me. And every single time you tested them in any way, whether it was intentional or not, anytime your relationship with them was tested, your friendship with them was tested, your connection with them was tested, they passed the test. And they showed you that no matter what, they have your back. No matter what, they are your number one advocate. No matter what, they will be present with you. They will show that they care. They contribute to this connection in ways that you never thought you would ever get. And then one day, out of the blue and without an announcement, you find out that they did something or that they said something that is so foreign to your knowing of them up to this point that it's so shocking. A moment like that feels like somebody put you on a slingshot and took you so far back and just let you go, but you didn't just move like a meter or two. Now you're all the way on Mars because it doesn't make sense. Like it just feels so out of this world. The way you thought they were turned out to be the complete opposite in that moment. You thought this was somebody who you can trust until the day you die. You thought this was somebody who had your back. You thought this was somebody who fell asleep thinking of ways to make you happy and to make your life more peaceful and to make your days easier. And then they did something that didn't just scratch the surface. Like it went all the way through you. It feels like a stab in the back, but with a big sword that goes right through you. And you don't even remember feeling any of it. Sometimes the pain of realizing who was the one backstabbing you is bigger than the stab itself. Because you think, really? You did this to me? I would expect this from a stranger. I would expect this from someone who hates me. But to be stabbed in this way by someone who says they love me, that's so much worse. The pain that you least expect is amplified even more because of who the one who was carrying the knife was. You never thought they would do that to you. And so there's a part of you that wants them to feel that same betrayal. There's a part of you that says, the world turns around and people get their karma and you will get your karma. I hope that somebody does to you what you did to me. And it's satisfying to say that. But my advice to you today is going to be the complete opposite. I'm not going to tell you to wish them well. And I'm not going to tell you to wish them healing. I'm not going to tell you to wish them the best. But I'm going to tell you, don't wish for their suffering. You are not like that. You are not like them. Don't let who they are make you someone you're not. Don't try so hard to give them a taste of their own medicine, because the medicine you have to offer doesn't resemble the medicine they gave you. The medicine they gave you was poison concealed as medicine. But the medicine you have is actually healing. It's kind, it's empathetic, it spreads light in the world. So don't let their darkness change the light you have within. If you become like them, even though you might think to yourself, but they're the ones who hurt me first, they deserve that. That's not up to you. Leave it up to the universe, leave it up to God, leave it up to life, and most of all, leave it up to them. If they have that much destruction to spread into other people, imagine how much destruction they have to spread in their own lives. Like, someone who is willing to hurt you that much already has so much pain within. And I know that's hard to hear, because there's a part of you that's like, I have a lot of pain. I'm not going around spreading it to people. That's you. And those are your values. Some people can't carry the pain they have because it's so heavy and it's so hurtful and it's so uncomfortable for them to sit with, that they need to spill it on everybody in their life. Let them do that. And I've been thinking a lot about this, and I've heard a lot of criticism on the let them theory and let them this and let them that. And some people actually love it, and they say, yeah, let them and let me. That's the whole concept. Here's what I have to say about it. When you say, let them do whatever they want, that doesn't mean that you continue to allow them to hurt you. When you say, let them do whatever they want to do and let them hurt whoever they want to hurt, you're saying, I'm removing myself from the recipient list they have for their let them list. When I say let them be who they are and let them lie, let them cheat, let them betray, let them use and manipulate and take advantage, I'm saying I'm removing myself from the list of recipients of your choices for yourself. Be who you want to be, but not around me. I'm not exposing myself to that. Don't convince yourself that allowing people to be who they want to be while still exposing yourself to them makes you strong or mature or detached. It actually means you've learned to guard yourself around them and say, it's my responsibility to shield myself from their pain, but I'm going to sit in the same room as them, physically or metaphorically. And for most of us, it's metaphorically. You might be letting them be who they want to be, but they're still taking up space in your mind. You're still spending time thinking about how they're going to meet somebody who's going to do the exact same thing to them that they did to you. You're still spending time looking at their social media to see any kind of sign that maybe they're in pain, maybe they're in trouble, maybe they finally got what they deserve. And I know, it feels good. But it feels good for a short period of time to see someone who made you suffer. What happens after that, though? Because you're not the type of person who gets happiness out of seeing somebody else suffer, no matter how much they did to you. Your values say, when I see somebody suffer, my heart aches for them. So you're going against your nature when you get that initial, it feels like a burst of happiness. But then you're back to the emptiness that you already have within. The emptiness that maybe they created when they hurt you in that way. What they did to you maybe walked away with them. But the things they taught you when they hurt you about yourself are still with you. How many times do you find yourself getting startled when somebody walks into a room? Or if something within your vicinity changes all of a sudden? How many times do you feel that fear in your heart, like something unpredictable just happened? How many times do you wake up at night for seemingly no reason? You're exhausted. How many pills are you on? Sleeping pills, depression pills, anxiety pills. How many lifestyle changes have you had to make in order to make your life less exposed to the outer world? How much have you isolated yourself as a result of what they did to you? How guarded are you? How hard is it for you to open up to somebody new? That didn't come out of nowhere. That's a result of what their betrayal taught you about yourself. When somebody new walks into your life and you're subconsciously or consciously waiting for them to leave, that's because someone in your life taught you that people walk in and then the moment they feel like they got you, they're going to walk away. So you have two solutions in the face of that. One, you make it faster. You make them feel like they got you. You make it easy for them because there's a part of you that's like, I know you're going to walk away, so let me make this easier. Or you continue to play the game and continue to get them to chase after you, because as long as they're chasing after you, they're not going to be the ones to walk away. That's the logic that you've now learned from what that person did to you. The best revenge you can get on somebody who broke you is to put yourself back together and live your life. It's not to wait and see them suffer the way they made you suffer. And you can do that. And maybe you did that. But what does that genuinely add to your life? They've already caused enough destruction. What is seeing them destroy themselves or seeing someone else destroy them gonna do with the rubble they left you in? You still have to rebuild. I once wrote in Sparks of Phoenix, I will not thank you for this pain. I will not thank you for this destruction, but I will thank you for this lesson. My demolition might not be in my hands, but my construction is. How powerful is that? You don't have to thank the person who hurt you for hurting you and for making you who you are today. I hate that. I wrote about it in Welcome Home. I wrote about it in Sparks of Phoenix. I wrote about it in the Book of Healing. I wrote about it in every single book. Do not thank the person who hurt you for what they did to you that forced you to heal in a way that made you this glorious person. No one should ever have to go through that kind of pain to be strong. Stop thanking the person who hurt you, but also stop waiting for them to be hurt in the exact same way. The best revenge you can have is to put yourself back together and to move in the direction opposite from them. And trust me, and I'm telling you this from personal experience, I have seen people who hurt me suffer, and it did nothing for me. It didn't bring me joy. It didn't bring me peace. It didn't bring me anything, because I wasn't waiting for them to break for me to resume my putting myself back together. I started that journey long before they started suffering. You know, you hear people say things like, let go and let God. Whatever it is that you believe in, let go and let the nature of life, let go and let them do whatever they want to do with their life. The tools they have are tools of destruction. So yes, they're going to end up hurting other people, and they're going to end up hurting themselves, and they're going to end up putting themselves in situations that are way too bad for any person to be in. Let them do that on their own. Don't take part in it, and don't tarnish this version of you that you've worked so hard on to see a piece of trash prove that it's a piece of trash. Your core is gold. Focus on that. There will be people out there who see that core of yours and truly value it and appreciate it for what it is. And imagine those people walk into your life and they look at you trying so hard to see someone else suffer, or trying so hard to get back at somebody who hurt you. We have a saying in Arabic that says, the world turns. And what we mean by that is the tables always turn. One day is for you and one day is against you. And so a person who decides to hurt you will get that right back around. And the focus shouldn't be on what they're getting as a result of what they did to you. Your focus needs to be on what you're getting as a result of who you are. They are their own karma. So if they're garbage and their behavior is garbage, guess what they're going to get in return? Garbage. If you're gold and your behavior is gold, and you're kind to the people in your life, and you're empathetic, and you're giving, you're caring, you're loving, you pay attention, that's what you're going to get in return. The problem is you've learned that everything that's good within you needs to be given to others and then reciprocated back to you by them. Because no one ever taught you that you are the number one priority in your life. And what that means is that you deserve all those things before anyone else in your life does. You don't need to give them to somebody so that that person can give them back to you, because now you're worth getting them. You already deserve everything that you have within. Stop spilling it desperately on everyone around you and begging back for it. You already have it within you. You're not a beggar, but you've been acting that way, and there's no shame in that. You've learned to survive that way, and we're not doing that anymore. So now I'm going to call you to stop investing your time in wishing revenge upon them. Stop investing your time in revealing their true colors. Their true colors will reveal themselves. And you might suffer for a few years watching them get by in the world and be so loved by other people. And it'll hurt you to see that, because you know the truth of who they are and you know what they did to you. You know what they're capable of. You don't need other people to see them for who they are to validate for yourself that they are that terrible. When times get rough, their true colors will reveal themselves to everyone, because that's just who they are. A person can't walk around their whole life with a cloak of, I'm a good person and I treat everybody well, and I've only hurt you. And you seem like you're the crazy one because you're going around telling everybody that I hurt you in this way. A day will come when that cloak they're covering themselves with falls off. And people will look at you and say, oh, I know now why they convinced me so hard that you were crazy. And I'm sorry that I saw you that way. That'll happen. But by the time it happens, you won't need that validation anymore. Because there's nothing more destructive than to walk around feeling like everybody looks at you like something is wrong with you, when the truth is that something really wrong was done to you. There's a big distinction there. They want you to feel like something is wrong with you when the truth is that something wrong happened to you. And as long as you wait for them or the people around them to come to you and say, you were wronged, I treated you so bad, you're putting your healing in their hands. Why would you put your healing in the hands of somebody who caused you so much suffering? And why would you put your healing in the hands of somebody by saying, I will not move on with my life until I see you suffering? Why would you do that to yourself? This is the time for you to be honest with yourself. It's not a time for you to try to make yourself feel worse or say, you're right, Najwa, I'm not actually like that. And I don't know why I've been trying so hard to reveal their true colors. You don't need to explain yourself to anybody. But now that you know what you're doing every time you wish for their suffering, or every time you do something that you know the intention of that thing you're doing is to get back at them in some way, or hope that it will help their true colors be revealed. Now that you see all of that and how you're waiting for them for their life to fall apart, isn't helping your life be put back together. It's not helping you in any way. Stop watching other people's lives and start tending to yours. You will be at a point in your life that's so much more elevated than they will ever be by the time that you see them fall, by the time you see them fall apart, by the time you see them get a taste of their own medicine. The sooner you start healing, the more elevated you will be. And there's an analogy that I always use that's like, look at the pain that they did to you as something to put beneath your feet. That's where it belongs. And when you put it beneath your feet, it elevates you. So why would you be so elevated and keep looking back down and saying, I wonder if that person who hurt me so much got what they deserved? That's not where your energy needs to go. It's time for Words That Found Me. These words are by Shannon Alder. Anger, resentment, and jealousy doesn't change the heart of others. It only changes yours. It's exactly what we were talking about. Don't let what they did to you make you do things to them or to others that make you exactly like them. And don't let who they are make you someone you're not. You're so much bigger than that. Your best revenge is yourself. It's your life. It's your peace. It's moving forward to bigger and better places. And you don't have to move to bigger and better places. You just have to move to your place. Do you know what I mean? You don't need to prove that you've succeeded financially or with certain milestones in life after they hurt you in that way. You don't need to prove anything to them or to anyone, only to yourself. Your best revenge is living a life that is authentic to you. And that's usually the life they didn't want you to live, and that's why they hurt you in that way. That's usually the life that they envied you for. That's usually the life that attracted them to you so much because they wanted to break you. They wanted to break your reality. Don't let them break it even further. And don't let them pull you away from the life you want to live. And the more you wish for their suffering, the more they're pulling you away. The more you wish for revenge, the more they're pulling you away. The more you wish for them to get a taste of what they did to you, that somebody walks into their life and does exactly what they did to you, the more they're pulling you away. Stop doing that. The one who broke you cannot be the one who heals you. And the one who broke you's suffering cannot be your healing. Let go of that idea. You don't need to see them suffer. They will. You don't need to see it. You don't need to wait for it. Trust me. I hope that this episode helped you, and I know it's a really heavy topic, so I want you to take some time after this to really reflect on what revenge is looking like in your life right now, because it's tempting to listen to something like this and say to yourself, this makes sense. But then there's something in your body that's like, but I really want to see them suffer, you know? And unless you sit with that part and have a conversation with it, you're not going to be able to take your power back and take the higher road and be the bigger person in your own life. So take some time and ask that part of you that wants revenge what it really needs. And I guarantee you what it really needs is for your own karma to come back to you. It's not about seeing them get a version of themselves in somebody else. It's about you giving yourself all that you readily and easily gave them. And you have that available to you. This might sound petty to some of you, but part of my revenge on every single person who hurt me is that I didn't let them stop me from writing. I didn't let them stop me from healing. The one who broke you can't heal you came from a place of putting all my pieces back together and no longer giving any person in my life who hurt me in a way that just left me shattered in pieces any more power over my own healing. And every single time one of you pre-orders the book, you're contributing to that revenge. But isn't it such a beautiful revenge? Because it has nothing to do with them. It has nothing to do with any person who actually hurt me or trying to make their life miserable. Do you think they're happy at my success? Probably not. Do you think that they're sitting there regretting everything they did to me? Probably not. But I don't care. I've continued on my journey. I've written more books. I've reached more and more of you. I've been able to build a life and a career that is beyond what I ever dreamt for myself. That's my revenge. It's living the best life that feels authentic to me. So I want to thank you for contributing to my revenge on every single person who hurt me. And when you take the time to do your healing the right way and no longer give every person in your life any more property within your journey, any more stop signs and red lights where you're stopping and giving them access to you or looking at their life. Every time you make that decision, that's your revenge. But it's such a sweet and beautiful revenge because it doesn't rely on somebody else's skeletons being shown to the world. It's about your life. So thank you for taking the time to listen to this podcast. Thank you for taking the time to pre-order The One Who Broke You Can't Heal You. I can't wait for the day that it's like number one. Like, isn't that such a sweet thing to imagine? Like a book titled The One Who Broke You Can't Heal You is like number one. And that's all thanks to you. So thank you for taking the time to listen. Thank you for taking the time to pre-order. I hope this episode helped you find healing beyond words. And until next time, Have a wonderful day.